The transition from the Daytona prototype to the GT for us actually was fairly smooth, simply because, you know, as a GT car goes, the Ferrari is mid-engined. It's very much like a DP car, with the exception of it being, you know, a street-based production car as opposed to a purpose-built race car. The main difference from a maintenance point of view is a Daytona prototype you work on from the top down, because all the bodywork comes off, so the mechanics can literally work from the top down. Where a production-based car, the bodywork is part of the shell, so you have to work on it from the bottom up. But the vehicle dynamics, the car itself, was similar enough to a DP car that the transition went fairly smoothly. With the different manufacturers that you have in GT and the different types of car, it's even more difficult for the GT teams to be competitive against each other, and the challenges of how the cars run over a race distance because of the different configurations. You've got rear engine, rear drive, mid-engine, rear drive, you know, front engine, rear drive cars. All of those factors mean that the race strategies are different, where in DP the cars are much more similar. So from a racing point of view, we've had to learn a few things too about how to read our competitors, how to deal with that we didn't see in DPs.
At the racetrack at Fiorano, we knew we had a pretty good piece, but you never know until you get to the racetrack. But we're pretty happy with what we felt that day, and with all the testing that's been done on this chassis in GT2 configuration in Europe, we felt we had a pretty strong piece to go racing with right out of the box. Well, AIM Autosport has done nothing but impressed us. You know, from going from DP racing to GT racing, one season to the next, no space in between, with a brand new car. And when they brought it back to North America, they went through the car, every nut and every bolt, and tried to learn as much about the car as they can or could. And they've done a fantastic job. From the moment they got involved with this car, it's been a real effort, a real serious effort, and that the results show it. Jeff's been a great partner to work with. You know, the balance of what we each do in a car works very well. Jeff, obviously, a great closer. He's quicker than I am, I would say 99% of the time. But I think I can get a car into his hands in a good position. I keep it competitive, it runs quick, and that's all I'm supposed to do, and it seems to be fit for my style of driving, I suppose.
It's been great working with them. The best surprise of the whole thing is the attitude that they bring to this. You can tell that everybody here really enjoys doing what they do. They're not here just to make money and go home. I mean, they're here because they're passionate about racing, and I think that we've stirred a little bit of that passion in Ferrari for them. First time they're working on that car, but I think that they've taken to it quite well. You know, next season I think is going to be a big challenge. I mean, this year was a huge challenge introducing a new car, and we've been fortunate that things have gone our way. We've been fortunate that things have gone according to plan, that the car has been reliable, that the car has been quick, that we've executed well in the races. But next year's a whole different deal. I mean, you've got really strong manufacturers in this category, and you know, I'm fortunate to be affiliated with Ferrari because I trust that they have things, you know, truly under control to make sure our car next year is competitive and strong. But you know, when you beat Porsche, when you beat Audi, and when you beat BMW and General Motors, they're not happy. So I'm quite sure they're going to come back next year with a renewed sense of intensity. And I think next year is going to be a very difficult year, but you know, Emil and I have driven together for quite a long time. This is our first year moving away from another marque and over to Ferrari, first year with AIM. But in fairness, there was a lot of thought put into it. It's not as though we just picked up and showed up here and, you know, and hoped for the best. You know, there's a really tight nucleus of planning between Emil and myself, and particularly with Nick Longhi, who manages a lot of these efforts. So we took a lot of time and consideration before making the switch to Ferrari, and then also in working with AIM. It was an opportunity that came across, and it really has worked out just unbelievably well.
It's been fun, it's been a real challenge, and most of all, we're running a Ferrari, so it's just been great.